right. I think Sage is going to make it. I don't know that we'll have a whole lot to talk about today. I think everyone's super focused on Nautilus at the moment, so there's many experimental performance-related things coming in, but we can go over the stuff that's getting updated. Morning, Sage. I don't hear you, Sage.
We've got a contractor here, so I'm going to be busy for a little bit.
Sure.
All right, see you guys.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I think this will probably be fast, but we can get going and get started here. All right. We've got 2 merged PRs this week. Radix, a pen buffer removal from buffer list. Looks like Kifu had merged that. And then also, oh, sorry, this one just closed. It didn't merge. This was a C-star shard LRU thing. I'm not sure why. Must have been that they decided to go in another direction or something. All right, let's see. There were a couple that got updated. Some async messenger stuff. The Adams 2 I object and objection sustained PRs. Any news on those, Adam? Anything interesting going on?
I discovered an infelicity in how Boost ASIA works with the coroutine yields, that it doesn't support functions with multiple, with more than 2 arguments in that one specific case. And since we use that all over RGW, I'm trying to build a workaround for that.
Fun times. Well, good luck. Let's see, what else? Batch handle send message. Yeah, I haven't looked at that at all. Apparently they're... Oh, I remember. That was the one where there's differences of opinion regarding the performance benefits of this. So they're going to do more testing and look. Specifically, it may hurt larger I/O sizes, and then there was a question about whether or not for smaller I/O sizes if it actually helps or not. Right, there's one here for reducing the number of BlueFS space allocation. That's kind of a little older. I don't know that much about it actually. And then there's one here about stupid allocator adding periodic discard feature, and the new discussion on that is whether or not that should be done in the new bitmap allocator or not, rather than stupid allocator. I think the author is going to try to update and fix up the one that he's got now before moving on. So hopefully we'll see that merge soon, assuming that they're able to fix whatever problems there were previously in it. All right, that's kind of it. There's, in the no movement category, we've got the VLA stuff, which I haven't seen too much about recently.
Being tested and debugged.
Oh, very good.
Errors in 2 thologies, so those are quickly being hunted down.
Nice. That's good to hear. I still owe Igor a review on this auto-tuning thing. Although I've kind of been pushing it off because I don't think I want to do it before Nautilus anyway. So probably after Nautilus. Same thing for my cache binning stuff. I've actually got a branch that both does kind of smarter cache binning and then also changes BlueStore to trim caches on write rather than in kind of a background thread periodically. It makes the cache balancer much happier when it doesn't have these kind of like short periodic spiky behavior happening in the background with memory usage. So that it doesn't seem to actually slow anything down either. It's not really that much worse. It looks like doing a short trim on write rather than a long trim kind of on a regular interval. So I think it's gonna be a good change. Yeah, I don't know. Not a whole lot of other stuff going on, I don't think. So yeah, that's it. I don't actually have anything to talk about this week. I've been busy with random various things going on, so I don't have anything real interesting to show off. Anyone else have anything they want to talk about?
I have a small question. Hi, Mark. It's Mohammed.
Hello.
Hey, it's actually something that is old. I got a question and from someone on my team, and I realized that I don't have the answer for it. It's regarding the BlueStar cache sizes for
Yes.
SSD and HDD. So the default for SSD is 3 GB, and for spinner it's 1, right?
If that's the case, if you're not using the auto tuner.
Yeah, exactly. This is like old stuff, yeah, which is why
Yep.
it's and why do we allocate more cache for SSD? Shouldn't be the opposite? Like, shouldn't we allocate more caching for a spinner, or maybe the same amount? Why are they even different?
Yeah, good. That's a great question.
Yeah.
So
And I looked in the doc, or even in the logs, the commits. I haven't found anything.
the rationale at the time, I think, was sort of that we thought that if someone had like NVMe drives or SSD drives in their system for the OSDs, that they'd probably have more memory, and we'd give it more memory, rather than and if they had like hard drives, they probably didn't have as much, because we had a bunch of users that were complaining that the OSD was using too much memory. So I think the idea was that if they had hard drives, which probably meant that they were older, that then we just default to use less. But I think in retrospect, it was kind of a bad idea, because people got really confused about it. Like everyone, or a lot of people were setting the now if I can remember how our overrides work with it, this is where it gets all super confusing. They were either setting the HDD or SSD cache size, or the global one, and they had the other one all reset somewhere, and then they got themselves confused about whether or not which one was taking precedence, right? So they had set it one way in one place and another way in another place, and then it didn't match what they thought it was going to be.
I remember this discussion. Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. So I think, at least to me, it seems like in retrospect, we were maybe trying to be a little overly clever about it.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
The only thing I could come up was that maybe we want to reduce actually hitting the SSD for like its lifetime. And that's the only thing really I could come up. But yeah, now I understand the rationale.
There is a legitimate thing here. On when you have an SSD or an NVMe drive, most likely you don't have anything faster for RocksDB. Like most people are sticking, if they're going to put the block device on NVMe, I haven't seen too many people yet that are using something like Optane or something super fast for the database. And when that's the case, hitting the cache for metadata reads. So like if you're going to do a new write, you actually end up reading some stuff out of RocksDB. Doing that from the BlueStore cache is much faster than reading from RocksDB's block cache or from disk. So having all of the O nodes cached is really, really nice. If you're on a hard drive, a lot of people end up running with like the block device on a hard drive, but then put a RocksDB, the database, and the write-ahead log on flash, and reading data, metadata out of RocksDB in that scenario isn't really a big deal because you're bottlenecked by the hard drive anyway. So it doesn't really cost you anything to do the read from even from the SST file on flash. It's kind of negligible versus doing it from BlueStore's cache. So that also kind of played into that decision at the time, is that we wanted to be able to showcase that if you had kind of all of your O nodes in cache, you could get good performance with NVMe backed OSDs.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Thanks. Very interesting.
Yeah, no problem. In general, I think we have more work to do in this area. Right now, we end up double caching in a lot of scenarios. The O nodes both in the RocksDB cache and in the BlueStar O node cache. I think down the road, assuming that we don't end up just moving totally over to CStore and CStar, if this is kind of like a long-term performance thing with BlueStore and NVMe drives, we probably want to have some kind of mechanism by which we don't end up double caching that. There are maybe various approaches we could take, but it's kind of unfortunate right now that happens because it kind of hurts us in various scenarios. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, I understand. Cool. Thank you. Thanks for the details.
Yeah, no problem. Anyone else have anything this week that they want to talk about? All right, well then let's I'm sure we've all got stuff to do for Nautilus, so let's wrap it up, and we'll see if next week we have more to talk about. Have a good week, guys.